This is the Thompson Cast. I am Mel Thompson. The election victory of Islamist Mohamed Morsi in the presidential runoff vote will only intensify the power struggle in Egypt between the Muslim Brotherhood and the military council. From a practical standpoint, the military had no choice but to allow a victory by Morsi. It is clear that from the military's point of view that it was the best of a bad situation for them, meaning that it was either protest and possible civil war now or slowing down the Muslim Brotherhood enough to control the process. The Egyptian military has no intention of relinquishing power, and certainly not to a political movement that they fear and have tamped down for over 60 years. With 52% of the vote cast, Morsi did not have a mandate, in my opinion. Secondly, many people did not participate due to the fact that they did not like either candidate. The other candidate in the runoff was Ahmed Shafiq, an official tied to the regime of ousted President Hosni Mubarak. You now have a candidate that won just enough to be victorious in an election against a person reviled by millions. Add to this the fact that Morsi has no real power and at some point is going to start agitating for more, and you have a recipe for civil unrest and possible civil war. The lack of power was clear enough before the election results were announced. In other words, the Muslim Brotherhood still went along with this, knowing that their presidential candidate would be less powerful than any previous president of Egypt. In fact, the lack of any real civil unrest or a total renunciation of the presidential election by the Muslim Brotherhood due to the dissolution of the parliament was a green light by the military to allow Morsi to win. The Supreme Constitutional Court announced that the procedures for electing the National Assembly were illegal and ordered the body to be dissolved. Even though this had happened before the election, the Muslim Brotherhood went along with the results of the election and also went along with the process and the procedure. It's better to get something rather than nothing. Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood did not organize a boycott and turn the entire presidential election into a referendum on the dissolution of parliament. This they could easily have done, causing civil unrest and thus giving the military a reason to install Shafiq. At that point, they would have nothing else to lose. The military was outwitted by the Muslim Brotherhood, and Morsi chose to remain silent on the dissolution of parliament and how it gutted any power that he would gain if he were successful and won the presidency, which he has now done. This cannot go on forever, and it is essential that it is understood that any direct foreign investment or business ventures in Egypt have the underlying political risk of the unknown. What will eventually happen when the Muslim Brotherhood decides to claim more power through a political process which they feel they rightly earned to exercise? Whether or not you agree with their politics, they did win the election, and from an American point of view, they do deserve to exercise power based upon those results. The military does not want this. At some point, this is going to explode. Whether it explodes in civil unrest, causing damage to infrastructure and other investments, foreign direct investments, is unknown. But at some point, there will be some degree of tension. I, for one, believe that there will be civil unrest, and I certainly hope that whatever the end game is, it does not spread regionally and cause further problems, not only for foreign direct investors from this country and business people from this country, but for the sake of the Middle East and for the people of Egypt. This has been the Thompson Cast. I am Mel Thompson.